Hey everyone, welcome to Stratele Studios. I'm Jeff Castanon. Well, I got a great request from my new patron Jens, and he asked me if I could slip in this tune while we are in December. This is Sleigh Ride, done by Bela Fleck and the Flecktones on the Conan O'Brien show in 2008. I'm a big fan of Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. I've been following these guys for a long time. I love the Wooten brothers, Victor and his brother who calls himself Future Man. These guys are phenomenal. Absolutely love this group. So this is going to be a lot of fun for me to see them do their take on Sleigh Ride. So let's get right into this. Here we go. Let's hit that play button.
We're back. My next guest recently released a holiday album called Jingle All the Way. It's already been nominated for 2 Grammys and reached #1 on the Billboard Jazz chart. Here with their unique take on a holiday classic are Bela Fleck and the Flecktones.
It's slippery, dude. He's quoting all over the place. Oh man, I think I heard him quote Ding Dong the Witch is Dead in there somewhere. Hear that? Knows how they all turned it to him when it's a drum solo. Oh my god. Quotes Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer again. Oh my gosh. Freaking amazing.
Hey, killer.
Absolutely amazing.
Wow. Good Lord, good to see you.
Wow. Merry
Someone's been
Christmas.
practicing. Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. That was incredible. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
The best of the best. You know, oh my gosh. When I see stuff like this, just it's so inspiring. You know, I think about how groups form and how the musicians choose each other to play with, and there's definitely this thing that goes on with musicians where you try to find guys at your level because you're way more successful if you're able to play with guys that are at your level or even a little bit better than you. And if you're a musician, if you can find guys that are a little better than you, then do that, because you get better when you do that. And I speak from experience with that. I know that you know, for most of my formative years of learning, I was really I didn't know how to read music, so I forced myself to put myself in situations where I had to read music. It was hard. It was really hard, but I knew if I did it that there would be a payoff for it. So I signed up for doing a musical, and the first one I did, I took a week off of work, and I woodshed from 8 in the morning till 8 at night every day. I'm not kidding you. My fingers were raw, and I tried to painstakingly understand how to read that music. The book that I got was like, it was 100 and something pages, guitar music, and yeah, there are times where I just wanted to throw the towel in and say, you know, I can't do this. But the thing is that the musical was opening up in 2 weeks, and they didn't have anybody else, and I would have really left them in a lurch. And I said I would do it, so I forced myself. So after having that experience, I after getting through that experience, I loved it. I loved the accomplishment of it. I loved the experience of it, and playing with these other musicians that could read, and so that was the beginning of me doing a whole string of musicals. So I mention that because, you know, when I look at a performance like this, I think how incredibly gifted each member in this band is, and how they are perfect for each other. There's no weakling. They're all experts on their instrument, on their individual instrument. That's the best bass player, the best banjo player, the best sax player, the best drummer, you know, together. I mean, you know, to do what this guy does on drums, by the way, he's playing the syntax and a acoustic kit at the same time. I mean, it's a mind-blowing, bizarre setup that I've only seen Future Man do. I mean, I don't know anyone else who does it, but this guy, Victor Wooten's brother, Victor Wooten's on bass. Yeah. So when I watch a band like this, I think to myself that, you know, these guys have excelled because they feed off of each other. Bela Fleck is an amazing banjo player, as you saw, and he really pushes things with these guys. So you know, I'm sure they push each other, but you know, it's this level that these four guys have dedicated themselves to, where they just keep ratcheting it up and get better and better and better, and just these four guys keep working on doing that. So this is the result of being in a group where you're playing with some badass guys. This is the level that you achieve. So you know, if you're unequally yoked with the guys in your band, then it's hard to make that work. And I've been in that situation before too. And one person ends up doing most of the work, and they get frustrated, and there's a lot of turmoil in the band because the expectation the hot player and the guys that haven't dedicated themselves as much. There's a lot of turmoil in there. And you know, the other guys in the band feel that they have an equal stake in things, and they want to be heard too, and they want their opinion to be heard and all of that. So, you know, the best thing to do is just find guys that play, you know, on the same level as you. I've been lucky to be in bands where that was true, where I was able to play with guys that were at my level. But I've had the opposite situation too, and it's difficult. But yeah, so getting to this music here, thank you for letting me talk about that. Okay. I have to, let me see, where do I start? Because it's all so great. Let me start from the left to right. So Victor Wooten on the bass. Man, if you don't know who Victor Wooten is, just do a deep dive on his stuff. I mean, this guy is absolutely brilliant. I've been following him for many years, and his technique, he has really revolutionized a lot of things on the bass. His technique is phenomenal. He's like created some ways of doing things. I don't know if he invented it, but he was definitely one of the first guys many years ago that I saw doing this down up plucking thing with his thumb, but this kind of thing, and that was like decades ago. So, you know, somebody can claim he didn't do it. That's fine, but I saw him doing it like decades ago. So, I don't know, maybe not decades, maybe 15 years. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. It could have been 20 years. I don't know how long they've been around, but yeah, I mean, the facility he has over the bass is just amazing. You saw it. I mean, he just burns on that thing, and you know, it's a beautiful thing to watch. Bela Fleck, you know, when I first started listening to Bela Fleck, I was, you know, expecting some country banjo playing guy, but this guy's got a jazz vocabulary that's just mind blowing. And when he goes into his fusion licks and his jazz stuff, I'm like going, how did this banjo player get from the normal vocabulary that a banjo player has to this jazz vocabulary? It's amazing just how he's able to apply that instrument to the idiom of jazz and jazz fusion. Beautiful. He's a legend as far as I'm concerned. He's an absolute legend. If you're not familiar with his material, please go seek it out. Check out his stuff. You know, go to Spotify. He's got a lot of albums. Flecktones have a lot of albums out, and just check out what he does. It's mind blowing. The sax player, I can't remember the guy's name. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name. But what I noticed when he took a solo, that was his phrasing. He does these long phrases that I love, man. The guy's just got like these massive lungs to be able to do these long phrases. But what I love about his playing is he's so slippery as he's weaving all around the scale, and you know, these phrases are it's just like it oozes out, man. I love it. I love his technique. I love the way he sounds. I love his approach to that instrument. It's so easy to listen to and so exciting, so buttery. I love it. Then all the way at the end, we got Future Man on that syntax. You know, the first time that I saw Bela Fleck, I couldn't keep my eyes off of Future Man because I was like, what the heck is he doing? What's going on with this guy? You know, and I'm watching him play this you know, bizarre instrument, which is the same thing Alan Holdsworth played, by the way. The syntax is something Alan Holdsworth played for a brief period of time. And you know, I'm like captivated because I'm watching. I'm like, okay, that's the kick, that's the snare, that key is the kick, and that's the key is the snare, and there's a cymbal, there's some fills, and then he's like playing all of this stuff with his hands. And you know, if I closed my eyes, I would think it was a drummer on an electronic kit. So I mean, it's just cool that he gravitated to that. I usually see him just with the syntax and not with the live cymbals and, you know, the other drums. So this is interesting. He's got a hybrid setup now, or at least in 2008. Very, very cool. Yeah, I love the little stage that they do. It's a very classical stage type of move, stage etiquette, kind of an old school stage etiquette, where they all turned to the drummer when it was his solo, and that kind of directs your attention. And that was a cool little thing that they did. That was really cool. Anyway, wow, Jens, thank you so much. That was brilliant. Thank you for that choice. Thank you for joining Patreon and being a part of that. And yeah, I love it when you guys know what I like, and you're like, hey, listen to this, and it's like, I love it when you're right about this. And I would have to say that I would say seriously, like, we're up at about 90% of the suggestions that I get from all of you are right in the pocket of stuff that I love. Sometimes there's some stuff kind of on the peripheral that I'm not crazy about, but then that's only like 10% of the suggestions. So man, I'm very impressed by that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Come back for more. We'll see you next time, and Merry Christmas. Bye.